Today we're going to be talking about, is Pokemon Go Evolve worth it? That's right, here's the product. I got so excited that I ripped it apart and opened it before I could even unfilm the boxing. But that's not what this video is about. It's not an unboxing or an answering of common questions that many other YouTube videos have already answered. This is more of a modern, is it worth it video to explain my first impressions on using Pokemon Go Evolve, the Gacha Evolve, for an entire community day, and telling you whether it's worth it to buy one in 2021 and beyond. So first and foremost, it has a very sleek profile. I thought it was much more stylish than the original version. So I thought it's worth it initially. But that was my initial thought before I bought it. Did it hold up to that expectation? Well, first off, I think the first little thing I noticed was they tell you in the manual to rip open the bracelet to get to the USB. But it's actually kind of scary because when you do it, you think you're like breaking it. You actually have to pull at a 45-degree angle. And when it comes out, you think you broke it or pulled off the wrong side. But this is what the USB looks like. It doesn't look like a normal USB, but this kind of black one. I also hear that this one is kind of brittle, so you have to be careful. Based on online reviews, some people have had issues with breaking it. So you gotta be careful, and you have to pull it at a 45-degree angle. If you yank straight up, the manual says that you could break it. Also, in terms of instructions, all it does is it comes with two little cards that direct you to the website and the app. The website will bring you to a PDF manual that gives you all the instructions. So keep that in mind. The picture shows you how to yank it off. Now on to the more important stuff. I have to tell you, I charged it, I put it into my Apple phone wall charger, charged it fine. I followed the instructions to a T. I'm pretty good with that stuff. And I, first downloaded the Gacha Evolve app, connected it to this thing, and then, synced it up to Pokemon Go, as always. And it was smooth sailing for a bit, but then once I started actually playing, there were connectivity issues, big ones. It was frustrating. Now I'll tell you, I was really excited at first. It synced well, and while I had it on my table, I could see it going, and it was catching stuff automatically. The settings were already kind of set properly to auto catch and auto spin, so I was over the moon about it. And then I put it on my wrist, which, by the way, I prefer. It's kind of, I was never a bracelet guy, so it was kind of irritating on my wrist a tiny bit, but it was doable. I went out into the world, and let me tell you, I'm a hardcore player. I'm level 40 in Pokemon Go. Now they increased the level cap, but I had hit the level cap. I was pretty experienced. I have a TikTok account with one of the most followed TikTok accounts on Pokemon Go. So I'm a pretty hardcore player. I went out and it disconnected every 1 to 2 minutes. Sometimes it went down to 20 seconds. And it was super annoying. But I'm pretty good with, dealing with frustrating things. I know there's a lot more horrible things that could happen to me. So I didn't take it too hard, but it was really annoying. I just said, it is what it is. By the way, I'm trying to hatch a lot of 2K eggs to get that shiny Magmy for the Magmar event. And so either way, I had to open my phone every couple minutes or so to hatch the egg, because this gacha will not hatch an egg for you. So you have to click on the screen when the distance completes to hatch it anyways. So I was like, okay, whatever. I have to use it anyways. So, after the initial annoyance, I was like, this really sucks. I went on the internet. I did search up a bunch of FAQs on Reddit, and all the solutions didn't really seem to work. The one thing I did find that probably interfered that I did end up fixing was power saver. I knew that Pokemon Go is already a drain on battery, and I knew this Bluetooth would drain it even more. So I always have power saver on, which basically, when I put my phone in my pocket, it dims the screen. Turns out you can't have that running when Gacha is on or any type of Bluetooth, because apparently it turns off the Bluetooth as well. So I was like, okay, I just have to eat it. I have to, use more electricity every day or each time I use this. And so that I turned that off and I was like, okay, this has got to have fixed it. It didn't really fix it. Now I'm sure that it was causing some of the issues, but that on its own didn't fix it. And so that was very annoying. I hear different patches and updates will kind of fix the connectivity issues, but I saw threads dating back every few months, all the way back to like 2018, with the same issues. So this is a recurring thing that they still have not seemed to have solved with the latest Gacha Evolve. So that was frustrating as well. Ultimately, what I ended up doing was I just said, you know what, screw it. I want to test this thing out. So every 2 minutes, when it would disconnect, I pull it out of my pocket, hit the button, and it would start to resync again. And then it would reconnect, and then I would continue walking around. That was annoying, but still doable. Now, I did a ton of research before deciding which one to purchase, and off the YouTube videos, I had the impression that on average, if you're lucky, on average, most devices, we're talking the Go Plus, the Pokeball Plus, any of them, they would stay connected for up to an hour. So I would not have to reconnect it so frequently. So that was pretty frustrating on my end. Now, on top of that, how was it? Was it irritating? Was it heavy? No, I thought it was pretty sleek overall. Now, I think the one big thing, the one big irritation, or not irritation, but discovery I found, was that it only throws regular red Pokeballs. And this was a huge thing that took me hours to figure out. For a few hours, about like 2 or 3 hours, everything was working, but it wasn't auto catching the Pokemon, and I couldn't figure it out. I was like, the watch is synced up, the settings right. I checked the Go Evolve app, and I deleted Pokemon Go, reinstalled it, did all this stuff. Turns out I was out of red balls. You see, when you go into these events, YouTubers like the Trainer Club will tell you have to come in with 300 Ultra Balls and 200 Great Balls. And so I would just delete all my regular Pokeballs to make room. And so now I was sitting on all these Great and Ultra Balls that I couldn't use, which was another frustrating thing. That's more on Niantic's fault. I did some research, and Niantic is the one who programmed that into the game. I think it would mean the world if they would just tweak the code a little bit and allow you to also throw Great and Ultra Balls when you run out of regular balls. I think they've just been so caught up with stuff that they've forgotten about the hardware for devices like this. And so it was really frustrating. I had to open up all my gifts and spin some more stops just to stay relevant with the few Pokeballs I did have. Now, what ended up happening was I went back home, and for some reason, when I have the phone and the Gacha device right next to it on the table, it will stay connected for longer. And the longest record I had was a good solid 20 to 25 minutes where they were just sitting right next to each other on the table. Something about, when it's outside, maybe it's the cotton between my watch and the phone, or my jacket. When I put my phone in my jacket, maybe that was causing connectivity issues. I took my jacket off, and that helped slightly, but not much. I really don't think wool or cotton is really that gonna dull the connection so much. I did find that if I wore it on my left wrist and I put my phone in my left pocket, it was closer together and it had a little bit of effect, but maybe that was just random luck rather than anything to actually do with the connectivity. Overall, I have realized that connectivity is much more important than battery life and sleekness. I really thought it would be worth it to invest in the Evolve over the regular version and spend a little bit more money so I could buy it for life. And I spent months researching and comparing before finally making a purchase, because this is a hefty purchase. It's $50. And I realized, I don't need the extra battery life. I thought I did because, I would run this thing for community day and it would run for 6 hours or more, and I'd be playing a lot, and I don't like to drain my battery quickly on my phone and have to recharge constantly. Well, it turns out none of that really matters if this thing disconnects every minute or 5 minutes. That's just too frustrating, and I might as well have better connectivity and have to recharge it more often. Plus, other than community days, will I really be playing for more than 2 or 3 hours at a time? No, I won't. So, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm actually thinking about returning or exchanging this or reselling this. I'll probably test it out. I'll probably do a video like 1 month later or 5 months later, just to see, if things have changed with this before I consider exchanging it or something else. I hear the regular version, same product, same brand, the regular gotcha version, it has better connectivity. Sure, it's a shorter battery life, but turns out, that didn't matter as much as I thought it would. And although it's not as stylish and sleek and doesn't blend into the bracelet, it's more of like a kind of weird, childish polka dot color design. Some people would just like pull it out of the bracelet and then just had it hang off a keychain, and that works as well. It's sleeker, it's cooler, and it's not as bulky. And that's probably what I'm considering. I don't think I'll ever do the most expensive product, which is the dual catch mod, because from what I can tell, it basically does the same exact thing, except it's $80 and it pairs with 2 phones at the same time. I'm only using 1 phone anyways, and it's this giant brick circle thing, which is, another thing that you have to stuff into your pockets, and it's $80. So, I think I'll stick with this for a while, and then I'll try the regular gotcha. I was really seriously considering the Ranger, and that's another thing that I would consider as well. But it really just depends. I think the Ranger, I've also been hearing good things about how sleek it is and how it works. But it's also this brick, basically, and it's a bigger battery life. But who wants to hold on to that? Basically, it all comes down to connectivity and ease and convenience. And one thing I do like about this is that you can turn on and off the vibration function. Not a huge deal, but the regular Go Plus and Pokeball Plus, you can't turn off the vibration feature, and you have to click it each time manually to catch a Pokemon. There's no auto catch function. So those are actually kind of, more manual, which makes it less enjoyable, So I don't think I would ever consider those unless there's significant consistent reports that the connectivity on those are much better than the Gotcha or Gotcha Evolve. If that was the case, I would seriously consider switching over, because there's ways to just rig those into an auto catcher. I hear that you can just wrap a rubber band around and then like have it press and hold that button down to simulate an auto catch. Obviously, that's more tedious and it's a hassle to have, but it could potentially work. But in the near-term future, I'm either considering keeping this or reselling it and exchanging it for a gotcha. But who knows? I might change this. I might keep this if they fix it with some more updates. I might even switch to a Ranger because I've heard good things about that. If I hear that the connectivity of that one gets a little better, maybe, but it's the same brand for all the gotcha devices, so I don't know if the Ranger or the regular will really have much difference, if ever. As far as I can tell, based off looking at Detel, the founder of this product's website, honestly, I don't think they're really paying much focus or attention onto this. I've tried contacting their support. I've tried emailing them. The website looks very dated, and I tried to reach out a few times to do some type of partnership with my TikTok account, and they just didn't respond. Maybe they're busy, but it seems like they just don't really care. It seems like it's an umbrella company with tons of other products that, despite how popular this has sold, they don't really care too much about upgrading it. I really wish they did though. Um, in essence, why should you get this? What's the real benefit, and why do people really buy stuff like this? Um, I think it comes down to a few things. One is for those hardcore players. The best of the best, they all have some type of auto catcher. Some of them run them 24/7 with incense running 24/7, and that's how they get 25 million Stardust. That's how, because they're constantly playing in a way. Um, I'm not that extreme, but that's one thing I could consider, and one thing I was consider using this for. But for me, and for more casual players, the reasons come down to eliminating posture, pain, and wrist and arm issues. I have a lot of pain from that because of how long I play and how hunched over you can get without noticing it when you're manually catching Pokemon on the phone, even with the fast catch trick. It was causing me pain, it was causing me discomfort. I wasn't feeling good when I was going on walks. And after doing that for years, it was time to consider a switch. And I really wish this would just let me walk normally without having to reconnect it every couple minutes. And I wish it could use gradient ultra balls as well. Maybe they'll fix that in the future. My fingers are crossed. On top of that, other casual players might use it because they just want to play the game in a more easy, seamless way. They want to just walk around and have the device catch stuff for you, spin stops for you, so that you can just enjoy without having to stress about it. Now, it's worth noting that there's different ways you can play using a gotcha. I didn't realize this, but the trainer club, he pointed out that you could turn off the auto catch during a community day and keep the auto spin on so that you're still playing on your phone. You're just cutting out the spinning of stops, which allows you to still throw the ultra balls and great balls. That's one way, another way of doing it. He also brought up something that I realized was another important distinction, which is that when you're using a gotcha evolved device of some sort, keep in mind that it's the speed that which it catches stuff and the algorithm. If you manually open a Pokemon and catch it manually, that interferes with the auto catch algorithm. And at least for me, when I used it on my iPhone X, it caused, I don't know what it was, but everything's slow. It wasn't even after I started manually doing it, but just to test it out. But even before that, when I let it run, it was much slower than the YouTube videos. In the YouTube videos, it just goes crazy. As soon as something appears, it instantly detects it, instantly catches it. For me, I kept seeing things appear in the wild, and I'd have to wait a good 4, 5, 6 seconds before it would detect, and then, it would catch it. So for some reason, it's gotten slower. Maybe because the game's gotten too convoluted or something, but some of the YouTube videos, which are a bit dated, they're 6 months, a year old now, it would go crazy. Does it have to do with the Go Evolve being clunkier than the Gotcha regular version? Even though this one is the more expensive version, I don't know. But for me, it was kind of slow. It would detect something 3, 4, 5 seconds later, and then it would initiate the catch, which was so slow. Also keep in mind that the chances that you'll catch something are decreased with a device like this. It throws a ball regular without any spin, and it only throws regular Pokeballs. So, it's not perfect, but when you sum it all together, I know people who have these devices, and they will admit that they have gotten more shinies from it than from regular catching, even despite the lower catch rate. And it just comes down to sheer amount of time played. When you have this device running, you just catch a lot more Pokemon, you get a lot more XP and Stardust. And even with that lower catch rate, it works. So, rather unfortunate. I think if nothing else, I would be happy if they fixed the connectivity issues and uh, they allowed me to auto catch with Great and Ultra Balls. If it would last at least an hour, maybe even a half hour before it disconnects each time, that would be good enough to me. I could go on a walk, not have to look at my phone all the time, fix my posture issues, my pain. And you know, Niantic's main goal was to get people to get out and be healthy and explore the world. So I hope they return to that. I know, being a Pokemon Go news reporter on TikTok, I know how constantly they're pumping out updates almost every other day nowadays. But they have to go back to the basics and work on this. So is it worth it? Is it worth buying? As of this current time, I would say no, it's a bit too expensive. If I could do it again, I would recommend getting the gotcha, and only if you take walks or you play for more than 15-20 minutes at a time, and you really just want to, you know, alleviate that and just have this auto catch. I would recommend going with the regular gotcha or maybe the gotcha ranger. You could chance it with the gotcha evolve if you wanted to, but maybe just start off with the regular gotcha, which is cheaper, and start there. And if that one doesn't work, you can start to switch it up. Maybe go to the other options like the Pokeball Plus. But from what I'm hearing, the regular gotcha works just fine. Apparently, for some reason, it has better connectivity. But you never know. I think in terms of brands, this is still one of the best brands, but it's kind of like the best choice out of all the kind of mediocre options here. If I could do it again, I would have just gotten the regular gotcha, which is surprising. Like I never would have said that a week ago. But turns out the battery life doesn't really matter, man. You could just recharge it, and you're not gonna be playing for 6 hours at a time. And when you have to reconnect it every minute or two, not an issue. I did get it to work for 20 minutes straight, but you still have to have Pokeballs there. So I'll leave links in the description to some of these items on Amazon.com if you want to go through my affiliate link. I would say go with the regular gotcha. If that one still doesn't work or there's connectivity issues, get off the Tells brands and products, and then maybe try the if you really want, if you have, you could try the Pokeball Plus or the just regular Pokemon Plus. They're pretty much roughly the same thing. I think the Pokeball Plus is a little bit better because it comes with a detachable USB instead of just batteries that you have to keep exchanging. So my second choice would be the Pokeball Plus by Nintendo. And then if that one still doesn't work, I would just wait and then check out the climate. Check out the latest Reddit updates, website updates, complaints, because the older dated videos are on a different firmware and update system. So there may be connectivity issues that still exist or are different than before. Check out the climate. And if you're seeing a lot of complaints around one thing, avoid it. But if you're seeing a lot of people saying a certain model's improved, maybe it's the Gotcha Evolve has now been updated and the connectivity issues are gone, swap over to that one and try that out. I would probably only try the dual Catchmon if you're really, really hardcore and you have the money, and all the other options just didn't work. But this has been the best of really what I can do. I think I'll stick around with it, and honestly, I still have hope for this thing. Now that I know it only uses red Pokeballs, I'll use more of that. I'll probably run it at home on a table with my phone next to it, more so just to get stardust and experience points and shinies when I'm not actually playing. And I think if this ever does break, or I'm really just hating it and the connectivity issues don't improve, I might try downgrading to an Evolve. But I would also myself check out the climate of things to see if the Evolve really has better connectivity, or it's really just the same thing, same exact thing, same software updates and crap. So that's it. Generally speaking, I give it a 3 out of 10, maybe 2.5 out of 10, and that's pretty consistent with the ratings online. I didn't know this, but there's a website that thousands of people have gone to review the gacha products, and the average rating out of thousands of ratings is like a 2 out of 5, which is really bad. So I'll stop rambling now. Subscribe, thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.